students, welcome to the biology class. Today we are going to continue with our chapter Biotechnology, its principle and processes. In our previous sessions we have discussed about the restriction enzymes, cloning vectors, and today we are going to start with the process of DNA technology, that is how the recombinant DNA is going to be constructed. The recombinant DNA technology involves the following steps, and we will discuss each step in detail one by one. So, our first step is isolation of genetic material, that is your DNA. To cut the DNA with restriction enzyme, DNA should be purified free from other macromolecules. If we have to isolate the DNA from the bacterial cell, plant cell or animal cell, it is broken down by the enzyme to release DNA along with RNA, protein, polysaccharides and lipids. Bacterial cell is treated with enzyme lysozyme so that the cell wall of bacterial cell should be broken down. If we are treating the plant cell, the enzyme we used is cellulase to break the cell wall of plant cell, and for the fungal cell it is treated with chitinase to break the cell wall of fungal cell. But if we are taking the animal cell, we are not having a specific enzyme because animal cell is not having a cell wall. So, RNA is removed by treatment with the ribonuclease and proteins are removed by the treatment protease. Several other treatments are being used so that we can get purified DNA is precipitated by adding the chilled ethanol. So, after getting the DNA, purified DNA, the second step is cutting of DNA at the specific location. And for cutting the DNA at the specific location, we use the enzyme known as restriction enzyme, which used to find out the particular or the specific site. So, purified DNA is incubated with specific restriction enzyme at the condition optimum for the enzyme to act. Process is repeated with the vector DNA, that is your plasmid. Next is isolation of desired DNA fragments. So, when we get a desired DNA segment, then they are being cut out, they are being fragmented, and each fragment should be purified by using the gel electrophoresis method. The activity of restriction enzyme can be checked. DNA is negatively charged. It moves towards the positive electrode or the anode in the process. DNA fragments separate out on the basis of their size. Then the desired DNA fragment is eluted out. The complete process of the gel electrophoresis we have already discussed in our previous session. Go through it once again to have a better understanding. The next is very important step, that is the amplification of the gene of interest by using the method PCR, that is your polymerase chain reaction. So, is a reaction which amplify of a specific DNA sequence is carried out in vitro. So, it was developed by the very well-known scientist, and we are having a three steps, that is denaturation, annealing, and the last step is your extension. So, first step that we are dealing with, that is the requirement of PCR, that is first requirement is DNA template, the double stranded DNA that need to be amplified. So the primers, small chemically synthesized oligonucleotides of about 10 to 18 nucleotides that are complementary to the region of template DNA. And the third requirement is the enzyme. Two commonly used enzymes are Taq polymerase, that is isolated from thermophilic bacterium, that is Thermus acuitas. So the name is T and AQ, that is a Taq polymerase. And the second is your Wnt polymerase, that is isolated from Thermococcus litorials, that is the source of the Wnt polymerase. So steps, first step is denaturation. The double-stranded DNA is denatured by subjecting it to the high temperature, that is of 94 degrees centigrade, for about 15 seconds. Each separated single-stranded strand now acts as a template for the DNA synthesis. The second step is your annealing. The two sets of primers are added, which anneal at the 3' end of each separated strand, because the new strand is going to synthesize from 5' to 3', and they act as the initiator for the replication. The last step is your extension. The DNA polymerase extends the primer by adding nucleotides complementary to the template provided in the reaction. A thermostable DNA polymerase, that is Taq polymerase, is used. Why it is used? That is your Taq polymerase, that is DNA polymerase is Taq polymerase is used because it can tolerate high temperature of the reaction. So all the steps are repeated many times to obtain the several copies of desired DNA. So diagrammatically you can see the first, at the higher temperature, this is the segment or the DNA which has to be amplified. So at the high temperature, that is 94 degrees centigrade, that is being heated and they get denatured. That double-stranded DNA is being separated out, and each strand of the DNA, this strand as well as this strand, is act as a DNA template, means a new complementary strand will synthesize along with the parent strand. And now we are having a two primers, and they will extend out to form the two DNA with the help of an enzyme DNA polymerase, Taq polymerase, because it can withstand the high temperature and it won't get denatured. They are stable at the high temperature. So the next step is your ligation. Now we can have a desirable, you can say, that is your DNA fragment. So vector and the source DNA are cut with the same endonuclease. They obtain the sticky ends, as we have already done this. So these are ligated by mixing the vector DNA gene of interest with the help of enzyme DNA ligase to form the recombinant DNA. Now the next step is that we have to introduce that ligated DNA into the host cell, into the recipient cell, with the help of the various methods, before which the recipient cells, they are to be made competent to receive the DNA. If recombinant DNA carrying the antibiotic resistance is transferred into the E. coli cell, the host cell is transformed into the ampicillin resistant cell, and the ampicillin resistant gene in this case is called as a selectable marker. On growing the transformed cell on agar plate containing ampicillin, only transformant will grow and other will die. So the culturing of the host cell now. The transformed host cell, in which there is a recombinant DNA, they grow in the appropriate nutrient medium at the optimal condition. DNA get multiplied and express itself to form the desired products. So the extraction of the desired gene product, when the protein encoding gene is expressed in heterologous host, It is called as the recombinant protein. From the rDNA, means from the recombinant DNA, we will get a recombinant protein. The cells having a gene of interest can be grown on the small scale or it may be on the large scale. On the small scale, the cells are grown on the cultures in the laboratory and then expressed protein is extracted, purified by the different separation techniques. But for having a large scale, the cells are grown in the continuous culture system in which the fresh medium is added from one side to maintain the cell in the exponential growth phase which goes on increasing, and the desired protein is collected from the other side. So, in the large scale method, the large biomass is produced which leads to the high yield. The next and the very important is your downstreaming process. All the processes to which the product is subjected to before being marketed as a finished product is called as the downstreaming process. So, for the downstreaming process, the various steps are being included: separation of the product from the reactors, purification of the product, formulation of the product with the suitable preservatives, quality control testing, clinical trials in case of a drugs. So after then it can becomes commercialized or it is being marketized as the finished product for the use of the mankind. So these are the various steps which we have discussed one by one by having the recombinant DNA, and after the recombinant DNA they get multiplied. So here you can see that is your foreign DNA, this is your vector DNA. With the help of a same restriction enzyme, they are being cut out, they get the fragments of the desired DNA and they get purified with the help of a gel electrophoresis, amplified, and then they are going to be ligate with the help of the enzyme, that is DNA ligase. Now this becomes your recombinant DNA. This recombinant DNA is now being transformed into the host cell, that is your E. coli. Now this E. coli has become a transformed, and when it will be multiplied, they will give multiple copies of a desirable gene. So this is a complete steps, and now they can be cultured in the small scale or it is in the large scale, and then they are being purified, formulated and introduced into the market for the mankind. The process is known as the downstreaming process. There is one more topic to be discussed, that is about the bioreactors. So what are the bioreactors? They are the vessels of the large volume in which the raw material are biologically converted into the specific product. It provides all the optimum conditions for achieving the desired product by the optimal growth condition like temperature, pH, substrate, salts, vitamins and oxygen. And we are having a very commonly used bioreactor, that is a stirred tank bioreactor, and there is one more bioreactor that is being known as your Sprague stirred tank, and this is a simple stirred tank bioreactors. And here you can have a various, you can see that is being started from the motor. They are having a flat blade pendulous which used to give a uniform mixing of the culture because of the cylindrical curved surface is there which can give the uniform mixing of the culture. And here you can see the various, the bubbles are there by which the mixing is being there, so that increase the oxygen transfer area. So we can have, these are the cylindrical curved base. So what is the use of that cylindrical base? That facilitate the proper mixing of the content, maximum oxygen availability to the bioreactor. They has a better temperature, pH control, foam control to prevent the foam shearing, damage to the cell due to the agitation, means during the mixing, and system sterilization and provision to withdraw the small volume of the culture periodically, means dheere dheere. So the bioreactor has the following component, that is the agitator system, an oxygen delivery system, foam control system, temperature control system, the pH control system, and the sample potting to withdraw the culture, and the culturally they are mixed. So we can have the stir mix the content and makes the oxygen available throughout the bioreactors, whereas a SPAC stirred tank reactor is stirred type reactor in which the air is bubbled. So this is the one of the very important difference between the stirred and the spragged, where the air bubbled is helping in mixing and they are having the paddler by which they can mix. So we are having a two types of bioreactors, and what are the various conditions by which that becomes a facilitating or the good bioreactor for our downstreaming process. So with this we finish our chapter of the biotechnology, its principle and the processes, and in our next session we will discuss about the applications of the biotechnologies. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.